The Legend of Şahmeran by Evliya Çelebi, one of the Ottoman sultans. From there to his travelogue to the Italian underworld. In his story, incredibly surprisingly, the records of the sultans. There are even past events. Is it just a myth or facts as well? Is he holding up? In this video we have prepared with the documents. The decision is yours to the legend. According to him, there is a species of snake named Maran. This kind of half-human, half-snake. He has the shape, both the ancestor of the Marans and the master of all snakes. His name is Şahmeran. Now let's turn to the legend, and first with Şahmeran. Let's see how the encounter turned out. With a lumberjack named Şahmeran. A poor child making a living with friends in the Çukurova district of Adana. Together they discover a cave full of honey shaped like a well towards the underground. This is a strange cave that descends to a rope for his friend Şahmeran to take the honey. They lower it into the well by tying it, but more honey falls on their share. So they run away, leaving him there, and he notices a hollow in the well that is leaking light. After expanding the cavity even further with the knife in his hand, suddenly never in his life, he encounters a large garden that is more beautiful than he has ever seen. In the garden, 100. He sees a woman whose face is bright, and a woman's body is shaped like a snake. Oh. It is Şahmeran. That is, the lord of all snakes. Şahmeran at the end of the legend. Would be. But other snakes won't know about it because other snakes. If he finds out that Şahmeran is dead, he will invade the Çukurova region and they will poison people by entering the house. Such is the summary of the legend. But the events full of secrets are still going on today, even the official history on this issue. His records date back to Fatih Sultan Mehmet, one day from Venice. An incoming Italian delegation would like to appear before Fatih Sultan Mehmet. Although the Sultan did not accept this at first, the Venetian delegation found that the cistern that sank to the ground. There is a huge treasure inside. We can only say this to the Sultan. When they say Sultan Mehmet accepts the delegation into his presence, the men on the ground, that there is a treasure in the sinking cistern, but this treasure is gold, or that it was the corpse inside an ancient sarcophagus, rather than valuables. They say that the body is such a great treasure that no human being can. He can't appreciate. They say this body belongs to Medusa, so the Greek. The girl with the snake hair in mythology. This sarcophagus of Fatih Sultan Mehmet. We don't know if he allowed it to be removed, but what we do know is that on the ground, there's a big upside-down Medusa head in the sink cistern sculpture. It was put in the opposite position. Events full of secrets are the delegation of Fatih Sultan. It begins 300 years after the visit of Mehmet 1876. During the Istanbul earthquake that occurred in today's Basilica, cracks and hollows had formed around the Sansi. These cavities and Sultan Abdülhamit examination and repair of the area due to cracks. He sends attendants for it. Officers arrived to repair the damage caused. When they enter the tunnel, they see that a large sarcophagus is here. The sarcophagus. When they open it, the secret is about to be revealed. The depictions on the sarcophagus. Medusa. So it was depicting the snake-haired woman in mythology. But the sarcophagus, the mummy that came out of it was a little different, because the mummy's face is a woman's body, and it was in the form of a snake. So the body is not to Medusa, who is the king of snakes. He was more similar to Şahmeran or his descendants, the Marans. The body, which was examined by biologists brought from Germany by the Sultan. It was decided to hide it, but the sarcophagus was placed in the courtyard of Fatih Mosque to the public. It was exhibited for a while. A single photo from the days when the sarcophagus was exhibited. There is, for copyright reasons, one shared the link to the photo in the video description. You can see from there the interesting thing is that the documents from that day are described. All the issues of the newspaper are available in Fatih and Bayazit libraries. Only the number that belongs to the day has been missing for 100 years at the beginning of the video of Şahmeran. Although he is the master of snakes, he is a species called Maran. I told you that Maran, which means snake in Persian, is again like Şahmeran. He is half human, half snake-shaped, and the snakes are under the ground. It is said to the strongest living. That's why in your cistern that sinks into the ground. The body found may not belong to Şahmeran, but to a Maran of that type again, same. At the time, Şahmeran's Anunnaki or some sexual beings. The underlying claim, according to the first of the claims, as those who came down from heaven, known and thought to have come from outer space thousands of years ago, long-lived, and the hawk moth of a snake mating with the main Nakus, who are powerful beings. Such a species may have occurred with the birth of another of the claims. As a result of his sexuality, which took the form of a snake, mating with a human, Şahmeran was born. Even the Marans who are descendants of Şahmeran are still. It is also often claimed that it is seen in Adana and its surroundings, especially Yelinkale, or when it is known as Şahmeran Castle, and according to the surrounding people, it is often around the castle, which cannot be dated with certainty that it was built. Şahmeran is seen, it is said by the people, on the castle cliffs. It's on the board and the whole place is full of holes putting votes in. A large number of these cliffs. Beyond the snake shelter, Şahmeran is also believed to have lived in these cliffs according to legend, even Evliya Çelebi. He mentioned this topic in his travelogue. When you come to the castle in Adana, when talking about the many snakes around the castle, they have long feathers, and he also tells about a snake with horns. According to him, this snake is only a Şahmeran, or it could be another Maran, so much so that Evliya Çelebi has big horns and a human-shaped face of a snake with feathers. He also wrote that he appeared and hid from time to time, according to what they wrote again. Although Şahmeran died, his descendants are in and around this castle. He continues to live. That's why they appear from time to time. Therefore, the name of the snake castle is Şahmeran along with Çelebi's travelogue. It also began to be known as the castle. The best from TRT in 2012 years. In the documentary Half Man, Half Snake, which received the documentary award, The Marans. Interviews with many elderly people from the people of Adana who claim to have seen has been done. In one of the interviews, an elderly woman living in Kukurova said, he says, it had a human face, short legs and a snake-shaped body. While sitting in the garden of our house in the evening with the neighbors, suddenly, it caught our eye. He was spinning around not knowing what to do. He says that he and the neighbors fled in fear. In recent years, an incident that happened by the Seahorn River in Adana is as follows. Two farmers. As the woman was sitting by the river, they started screaming, "It's!" Other farmers who came to them on it told them what the situation was. The response of the older women when she asked was amazing. Women have a bad. So they began to tell in a half-fainting way. A woman with a beautiful face. He was looking at them in the water, first of all, wondering if someone had drowned. Women who are moving in the direction they see, they think that the being they think is human is in an instant. He crossed to the opposite side of the river, moved quickly with his feet like a crocodile, and they said he was half human, half snake-shaped. This incident is the last Şahmeran case to be recorded. People who live in hot areas know well that snakes are often overwhelmed to cross to either side of the river because they are overwhelmed. They can enter their waters. The Marans of the descendants of Şahmeran are also like this. Could it be possible that he had done something? Kukurova and its surroundings. Living people take a picture of Şahmeran to pay homage to. They hang it in their houses. If a snake enters this house, you will see a picture of Şahmeran, and it's being done to get him away from there. Because according to the belief, the snakes of Şahmeran, it prevents him from stinging people, but one day the snakes will come. They will find out that Şahmeran is dead. Kukurova also for revenge. Who is there by entering every house on their side? Who is absent? They will poison everyone. Well, what we mentioned at the beginning of the video, and there is Medusa in it. While considering, according to the descriptions, the sarcophagus from which a body similar to Şahmeran came out. What's happened? Shortly after this sarcophagus was discovered and exhibited in Anatolia. Like many historical monuments, they are taken by foreigners according to the eye. He was taken to Italy. It is not known what happened to the body, but the Italians. It is right to think that they will take this sarcophagus weighing tons away empty. No way. Unfortunately, between the years of 1800 and 1900 and December 2, hundreds of huge historical monuments and treasures in the Ottoman lands are foreign. They were plundered by the states and taken to their own countries, many. It is on display at the British Museum in London. According to one claim, a secret. The idea that the organization took the sarcophagus away with a big operation was put forward. But far from the exaggerations of conspiracy theories, to historical facts. According to him, during the years when Istanbul was occupied, the sarcophagus was destroyed by the occupying soldiers. It was sold to the Italians, and the Italians also took it by ship. A legal struggle has been going on for 90 years to bring back many historical artifacts. However, only a small part of them could be returned to the country. I hope the aforementioned sarcophagus is also found and brought back to our country this Şahmeran, and there are many secrets about the subject, including the connection between the Medusa Legends deck. It means that the appearance of